When you walk in a room, no, they can't stand the fumes. Dragon baby.
Tell me, baby, tell me, why you smoke that trash?
Why, girl?
Everybody's saying you ain't got no class.
Can't you see what you are? You're a drag, yes you are.
Dragon, baby.
A message for you and me from the American Cancer Society.
Don't be a dragon, baby.
That's how you do it, Robyn. Robyn G. With Tony P is on the bill. That's how you do it. Oh yeah. It's really bad. They uptown. They use a whole lot of
What's
pressure.
up, love bugs? Please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and don't forget to tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. Now, let's continue talking about Mikey Tyson. So in a short time, I had gone from famine to feast with women. And then I added one more to the buffet. I met Robyn Givens. I was in England in bed with this British chick, and we had the television on in the background. They were showing Soul Train, and I turned to look at the screen, and there was this beautiful black girl on the show. "Who's that girl?" I asked the British chick. She didn't know. So I started watching closely, and they said that the guest stars were the cast of Head of the Class. I also didn't know that Robyn and her mother, Ruth, had been on the prowl for a big black celebrity for Robyn since she graduated from college. I felt a strong sexual vibe from her, some sort of chemistry. She says that the two of us were alone and that I fell asleep on her lap and drooled on her. I guess that's the way to win a woman over, drool on her. After I saw her and her mother in operation mode, it struck me that her mother was a prolific stage mom, investing in her daughter so that she could be, or at least marry, somebody big. They somehow finagled their way onto Cosby's show and then wormed their way into staying at his house in LA. I certainly didn't want to put any money in her pocket, but to read Robyn's account of our time together is like reading the worst romance horror novel imaginable. Ruth, the Ruthless, was acting like I was some freeloader trying to get my hands on some of that head of the class money, which couldn't pay a month's worth of my rent. What? I know that. I know you fucking lying. I know. Ruthless, that's the mammy's name. I know Ruthless couldn't imagine that head of the class money could ever equate a Mike Tyson fight. That bitch probably had to work 17 seasons of head of the class in order for her to match a Mike Tyson fight. You can't be serious. They had nothing until I came on the scene. They were two broke charlatans. They didn't own anything. They were just one big illusion. In her book, Robyn implied that we hadn't slept together, but I actually nailed her the first or second night when she came to my hotel. Instead, she claimed that we strolled through the mall and played with puppies at pet shops for hours. Can you see me in the mother hunching mall, the heavyweight champ of the world? What the F am I doing in the mall? According to the Robyn Givens, buying her shit. The truth is, I wasn't petting puppies with her. I was introducing her to heroin dealers. One night, a few months later, we were walking in Manhattan on 6th Avenue and 41st Street, and we passed by Bryant Park, and I saw this dope dealer who I knew from Brownsville. I walked over to him and slapped him 5, and Robyn was blown away that I knew this guy. I'm sure she was mortified to be around someone like that. She was so artificial. At that time, she just wasn't comfortable being around normal, everyday folk. But to me, the neighborhood heroin dealers was normal, everyday folk. I had been out of action for over 3 months, the longest layoff in my career at that point. Action in the ring, that is. Now it was time to grab another belt. James Bone Crusher Smith was the WBA champion, and I took him on in Vegas on March 7th. My ego was so out of whack then. I felt like John McEnroe. Fuck you. Who cares? Now, you know John McEnroe is Tatum O'Neal's baby father. Let me take it back. He is a tennis star with a bad attitude. He was very well known in the 80s. One, because of his tennis playing skills, and because the motherfucker had an attitude problem. All right. And Tatum O'Neal had an addiction problem. And y'all know Tatum O'Neal is my favorite, or one of my favorite white ladies. You hear me? I loved her. She was so beautiful. In fact, she's still super beautiful, although she struggles with her addiction. I felt entitled to anything concerning the boxing world. And if I wasn't getting it, then you were going to hear from me. I went into the ring. When Bone Crusher came in and we faced off, I didn't feel any threat at all. I knew I'd be too elusive and he wouldn't be able to hit me. He was a good, strong fighter. He knocked out a lot of guys, but it was difficult for him to get to me. The fight began, and by the second round, Bone Crusher's strategy was obvious. He was going to hold me or backpedal away from me. The crowd started booing as early as the second round, and at the end of the round, referee Mills Lane deducted a point from him for holding. I was happy that he was holding me because I was in such tremendous pain from a pinched nerve that it could have been an ugly night. I just couldn't get comfortable, and I kept twitching from the pain the whole fight. My equilibrium was all messed up. He pretty much gave me an easy night off. The only time he connected was about 10 seconds before the fight was over. I won every round. After the fight, I got a $750,000 advance from Nintendo to use my likeness for a boxing video game called Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Man, I tell you, we played that motherfucker. Baby, I thought I was Mike Tyson. I just wanted to fight. All that other stuff was foreign to me. Robyn was my first real relationship. Except for Naomi, that's Naomi Campbell, y'all. Except for Naomi, who, by the way, was pissed when she found out about Robyn. Before that, it was just juggling a lot of girls. I was effing and telling a lot of lies. That's why I don't lie anymore, because I was so good at it. Maybe Robyn was just what the doctor ordered. A manipulative shrew who could bring me to my knees. I was like a fucking trained puppy dog around her. That's okay. Please, you can steal my money, but don't take the pussy away. Please. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't just about sex. I think I got off most on the intimacy. I don't even think I was very good sexually then. I heard her once say that I was good in bed, but I don't agree. I was just a young guy in love. I had never had that feeling before. I was back in the ring in May. My next opponent was Pinklon Thomas, who was a great fighter. In the 6th round, I got off a devastating left hook that exploded on his chin. But he was such a disciplined and composed fighter that he acted like it didn't faze him. But I had watched all the great fighters. Robinson, Marciano. I knew that if I hit you right, you're hurt. I don't care how much of a poker face you have on. So I just threw everything I had on him. Maybe a 15 punch barrage, and I came up with that resounding knockout. He was knocked out cold, and once he fell onto the floor, he was so gutsy, he tried to get up. But I saw the pain on his face, and I knew he wouldn't make it. That might have been the most vicious knockout of my career. It was like hitting the heavy bag. I wasn't worried about anything incoming. Just think about how much character he exhibited. All that pain on his face, and he's still trying to get up. I thought, damn, you want some more? Even though I won the fight with a masterful knockout, I wasn't pleased with my overall performance, and I began questioning the fights that Jimmy and Caton were lining up for me. So it was kind of strange for those of us who watched Tyson's fights. We were like, wait a minute, hold on. Can we watch a fight that lasts more than one round? That's how bad it was. It was a time where people was like, man, I'm not paying all this money because what would happen is Showtime. I think it was pay-per-view, and it was either on Showtime or HBO. And honey, people would pay like $50-something to see a good fight. And Tyson would knock him out in the first round, and you'd be like, come on, brother. Come the hell on. These niggas can't make it to the third round, and I done paid $50? God Girl, damn. And imagine the people who brought brand new wardrobes worth thousands, because when you go to the fights, honey, you got to put on your furs, your beads, your bells, your berries, your good afro juice, okay, or your jerry curl juice. This is the 80s, but not in DC, though. You had to make sure that you look good, your lady look good, or your ladies look good, because believe me, during this time, it was a lot of pimps taking their hoes to these fights because they knew that these men was going to get busy after these fights. So you had to get your ladies' wardrobe together, your wardrobe together, buy flights there and back. Make sure you got your money to floss with while you're there. Pay for the tickets, however, much the tickets cost. And you don't want to be, if you're a flosser, I don't know what they call them now, but you want to have a good seat close to the ring so that your face could be showed on camera. And if your face is showed on camera, then you got to make sure that you look fucking good. So imagine these people that then spent all this money to see Tyson fight, and the damn fight don't even last one round. That is a bad investment, darling. My sparring partners were constantly trying to hurt me. That was their instruction. If they didn't do that, they'd be sent home. When you start training, you're scared. You ain't going to go out and play and party because you know you have to fight this guy, and the last time he gave you a fucking headache. You're not going to go outside to the bar around the corner and visit no girl. You're going home. You go to the tub. You're going to concentrate on how you are going to box this guy the next day. That was my life. And I was tired of it. The pressure was getting to me. Big clumps of my hair were falling out from alopecia, a nervous condition. Wow. The pressure was getting to me. Big clumps of my hair were falling out from alopecia, a nervous condition. I didn't even care if I got a third belt. Robyn wasn't exactly an anchor of stability for me. We were always fighting and temporarily breaking up. I was stressed out just from walking down the street. Guys would come up to me and say that they had bet their lives on me and I had to win or else they'd lose their house and their wife would leave them. I didn't want to let those people down. Damn, that's a lot of pressure. That's a whole lot of pressure. That's too much pressure. No wonder his head was falling out. Between Ruthless, Robyn, and then strangers saying to you, I done bet my house on your fight. That's a lot of pressure. And you don't even know these ninjas and they walking up to you. Don't forget, cancers are very emotional. Okay? And they want to take care of people. I guess I just never thought I was good enough for the job. I was too insecure to be that dominant person. Between fights, I was going to these really bucket of blood places in the middle of bumfuck Florida. And I'm strutting in there and all these mother hunchies got their guns up. And I'm talking shiz and starting fights. I've got all these diamonds on me. They should have beaten my ass and robbed me. About a month before the Tucker fight, I disappeared from camp and went to Albany and started partying. I partied for 2 weeks straight. I told my friends at a nightclub that I was retiring, but Jimmy got me on the phone and started threatening me. Everyone would sue us if I didn't make the fight. I should have retired then, but I didn't have control over my own life. What did those guys know about my life? Jimmy thought that Robyn might be good for me, that she'd settle me down. I guess that Robyn was a better deceiver than Jim was. I got back to training about 2 weeks before the fight. I had been partying hard in Albany, and I never got into real tip-top shape. In the first round, Tucker hit me with an uppercut that backed me up. Everybody made a big deal about it, but I didn't feel it at all. It was just me making a mistake. In the fourth round, I took control of the fight, and I won almost every round after. The fight went the distance. While we were waiting for the decision, Tucker came across to me. You're a damn good fighter. Don't worry, I'll give you a chance to fight me again, he said. You think you won? Get the fuck out of here. Then Tony started praising Jesus, but it didn't help. I won a unanimous decision, but I didn't feel good about it. After the fight, Don King threw a hokey coronation to celebrate me winning the unified title. I didn't even want to go to it, but Jimmy told me it was part of doing business, so I attended. I felt like I was a piece of a freak show. Cuss and I had been talking since I was 14 about beating Larry Holmes.